Welcome once again. This is Salamancer, and you are watching Sal TV. We're going to watch a pretty epic game here. The upper finals between Epsilon and TCM Gaming. We're going to go out over the rosters while they roll out. Epsilon, that we're watching in the blue right now. Medic is F2. Their Extremer is their demo man. Their two scouts are Shocky and H2. And then their soldiers are Gear and Quad. So we get to see the mid-fight here. We'll go over the red team roster after this mid-fight is resolved. Normally these are pretty quick fights, but in Europe, I mean, they sometimes seem to be a little bit longer. Medic actually getting up there on top of the crates and doing some crazy rocket surfing here, but he's taking just way too much damage. Has not died yet. Finally goes down. They finally take down that TCM medic. Holy crap, he survived a lot longer than I have ever survived in that kind of pressure situation as a medic. So that was really crazy, and well done to him for doing that. So now that mid-fight has gone kind of poorly for Epsilon, they do have their 100% Uber, though, and they're sitting back defending second. They should be just fine. TCM's roster, TCM Gaming, is Medic is going to be, I guess we're going to call him Anti. Bite is their demo man. Penna and Flisco, their soldiers, and their scouts are Skinny and Coins. So we're going to watch the Skinny and Coin duo. And yeah, TCM has captured the midpoint. They are, wow, they're actually really camping this little drop down. That's something you don't see a lot of teams do. They just kind of forget that drop down exists. But no, TCM is like, we are not going to get flanked here. And actually, if somebody had tried to flank by dropping down through that, they would have been owned, and then Epsilon would have been in a really bad position. But so far, no, it looks like my HUD is gone, and that's why I can't tell who has the Uber advantage. There we go. Epsilon with the advantage. They are pushing in. That is why they're being aggressive. They knew that they had made the enemy pop. So now TCM turn to run back and just kind of give up mid here. They have to do that because they want to keep that all-important Uber advantage. If they had dropped, had their medic die, then they really, A, they would not have had people getting healed, but B, I mean, it's what really matters for these pushes is making your team invincible and keeping that medic alive. So with each of these Ubers, we are going to see each team hopes they can kill the other medic, or at the very least force him to pop that Uber and reset that Uber timer. That's what they want to do. And of course, while you're invincible, you can get lots of kills. That is a thing that you can do when you are invincible. Hopefully, when the enemy is not invincible. So that's of course what that's the other objective while you have an Uber. Take some position, keep your medic alive, and get some kills on the enemy. Here we go. The Uber is popped here just before Epsilon has theirs, so good timing, but Epsilon knew that. They backed out, and now they have counter-popped their own Uber. They're going to walk back out here, and I think they're going to be able to hold on to mid. Good kills coming over these crates here. Looks like most of TCM team has gone down. Gear, Extremer, Shocky, all getting kills there. And so TCM only with 3 up right now. One of them is the demo man. It sounds like Epsilon's Gear has finally gone down. Bite Me, the demo man for TCM, I called him Bite, but he is Bite Me apparently, has gotten some really good kills here and just continuing to set up these traps so the enemies just cannot get to him. He's kind of holed up in here and hoping the enemy doesn't come to him. Problem is, he's not defending the point right now, so you know, if somebody came to him, that'd be okay, but yeah, there he goes. He's finally set off those traps, and now he's going to set one in a more conventional location that will allow him to defend the point a little bit better. But meanwhile, we do have the point being captured here. TCM actually, because they don't have their demo man spamming stickies onto this point, he's just kind of trapping over on the right-hand side. He's not able to defend this, and as a result, blue team has just been walking in, not taking any sticky damage at all. They leave their scout to capture that point, and they've launched both of their soldiers in here to try to attack. Problem is, Nox ended up going down there. So with Nox down, that's going to mean that Team Epsilon is just going to try and sit back and hold this second point. Now, since this is the winner's final, neither team has lost a game yet, but it's not the final game to be played. TCM or Epsilon, if they lose this game, will end up playing, I think, for 3rd place against the... the way it's going to work is there's also a loser's final, so the winner from the loser's final is going to end up playing the winner of this game for the grand prize of 2,500 British pounds, and then whoever loses that final will play against the loser of this game for 3rd place. So a little bit confusing, but if you've made it to this round in the winner's final, you are basically guaranteed a 3rd place finish and possibly a 1st place finish. Or 2nd, I guess, if the winner of this ends up losing to the loser's final. So we will end up seeing what happens there, but you are guaranteed at least a 3rd place finish by just making it to this game. Now, I don't know how the prize payouts worked, and the problem I'm having is that I was looking on the site for... Looks like a good cap there for Team Epsilon, but I was looking on the site for the i43 LAN that was played over in Lanford, England, and the problem I see on the site is that I can't find the STV demo for the finals game, so I'm gonna have to like poke somebody over. Probably hope to cast it tomorrow if I can manage to get it, but it's not on their site, so I'm gonna be like crying tears of sadness, great sorrow if I cannot cast that finals game. Of course, it probably has already been cast, and in fact, almost certainly has been cast by Martin of Vanilla TV. So if you can't watch it here and it's not on my channel, go check out VTV, because they will, of course, have cast it and they will have saved the cast, and it is sure to be an epic game. Heavy goes down here for TCM, and in fact, the TCM has lost 3 players already, so Epsilon has pushed in here, and there's no way that TCM is going to be able to stop that capture. So well done. Epsilon goes up 1-0, and I was told that both of these teams, by my friends on Elemental Violence, I was told that both of these teams are just utterly amazing. Here at this LAN, they are really showing us what they're made of. I have not seen a single team really choke under pressure yet. They've just been doing amazingly well so far. Consistent play from all of these teams. They have practiced everything down to a science. Oh, Epsilon trying to grab that health kit, but of course the enemy demo man watched him do it, detonated that sticky very, very close to death there, but he did manage to keep his health up. Now it sounds like Bite has gone down. TCM ends up losing their demo man first. Extremer is still alive for Epsilon, so TCM's demo man down, but looks like they're pressuring the medic here with the soldier. Soldier goes down, and F2 with 35 health trying to run back out there. He's keeping his scout alive to defend him as long as possible, but TCM has managed to win this mid-fight despite the fact that their demo man went down very early there. They just got the damage, they got the aggression down by their soldiers. Both teams have nearly 100% Uber here. Actually, Epsilon has F2's walked all the way back, probably to like spawn just to get his heals on the demo man or the medic. So Epsilon with a little bit of a disadvantage there, but I don't think TCM realized it. So of course, if you don't know the enemy medic isn't healing somebody, then what can you do about that? I guess you just kind of assume that they have 100% Uber as well, and so you don't push, you don't play too aggressively. That's kind of what they're doing. They realize here, they're like, oh wait, actually, they've given us the yard, so I guess we can just pop out here and take yard. Some fighting going on the left side, which isn't normally where you see the combo pushing in the North American scene, but seems like they like to push the medic in a lot more over here on Granary in Europe. And that's exactly what's happening. And look at this, TCM actually keeping both of the soldiers pocketed. They are not pocketing that demo. I think Epsilon's doing a lot more demo pocketing. But yeah, TCM feeling the strength of the soldiers, Ubering both of them in, but they have lost Pena and Coins right now. So that push was just a little bit of a failure there. They didn't deal enough damage to Epsilon. Epsilon is staying alive. And look at that scout pressure there. He's walking up against a demo man and a soldier being healed by a medic, and he's just like, no, I got this, I got this. These scouts on Epsilon really know how to play aggressively, so really awesome to watch. And look at this, they're both just running out here, and the coordination from that was just, I am so impressed, hardly can talk right now. I am speechless by how well coordinated that attack was. The scouts ran in from the right hand side, the soldiers jumped in through the garage, and they just collapsed on that medic at the same time. That was the most well-coordinated assault I have ever seen in Team Fortress 2 in all my time casting so far, which is like about a month, by the way. So I hope to see a lot more of that coming in, because that was the cleanest execution of a game I have ever seen. Epsilon really deserves the Uber advantage they have here, because that was an amazing push that they just did. So we're watching TCM here having to defend on last, and they're having to defend against an Uber. Epsilon wasting no time. They know that Coins is down right now. They've taken out Anti, they've taken out Flisco, so no medic, no soldier. Well, they do have one soldier left. That is going to be Pena, of course, for TCM, but he is now down as well, and Nox just standing up here dealing down the damage from the high ground. Does manage to take out Bite Me, so now there's no more stickies on the point. Can Nox actually cap, though? Looks like the scouts here may end up taking out. No! Oh, no! 2 kills on the scouts! So close there for Nox. Managed to just barely die at the very end to a rocket from Flisco, but getting those 2 kills on the scouts, that was so incredibly close there from, oh my gosh, from Team Epsilon. And looks like they still want to get out there and keep the pressure up. Problem is, their Uber is just a little bit behind TCM's right now. They're going to know that, but it's not going to be a big deal. Can TCM manage to push out here, though? That's kind of what they're trying to do. They're poking out. They're getting a feel for whether they can push or not, and it looks like Epsilon has set themselves back up in a good defensive position. Look at that. That was some really strong play by Bite Me there. Decided to just stand on top of that sticky and say, yeah, go ahead and detonate him. Because if he detonated them, of course, then he would detonate his entire sticky traps, and that might let his team through. That was just some very high-level stuff there. So, well done by Bite Me. Looks like Nox, first guy to go down there. Epsilon is going to probably, well, Pena's down as well now. So I was going to say Epsilon may have to fall back losing that player, but they've got 100% Uber. And look at that. Coin's actually playing on the heavy. So I think TCM is pretty much just buckling down here for a for a very long defensive play. They're going to wait for Epsilon to try and push in here. Is Epsilon going to go for like a sniper pick or something? No, they are not. They've just got both scouts of Quad and Shocky right now. I'm pretty sure his name is. Yeah, Shocky. Both scouts here just ready to run in and deal maximum scout damage. Of course, they have to be able to actually get there first, and right now everything is being watched like TCM are just watching it like hawks. They want to make sure that they do not let anybody in here. Finally, Quad. Is this Quad? No, yeah, I think maybe it was. So Quad on the scout. I think we actually saw him on Soldier a little while ago, so interesting to see that they're just swapping classes. You don't normally see that at these highest levels, but wow, I guess they've just got some really great depth of players, broad, able players. And look at that, coins goes down, so no more heavy. That's going to mean that with TCM only one left up. It is a demo man, so he could sticky trap the point. Good kill there, but it's just not enough. And so Epsilon goes up 2-0. Excellent win so far for Epsilon. There is, of course, 19 minutes left. Anything can happen here. TCM could make a huge comeback, and we have, I cast just earlier today on CP Granary. No, it was the CP Warmfront, but we cast like a really epic comeback, so of course go watch that game as well. It was ESEA, so it was North America. Yeah, guys, this has been an amazing game so far, and we're just watching Epsilon's playstyle here has just been hugely coordinated. I don't know how else to say it, but these guys are the most coordinated team I've ever seen. Bite Me goes down to some pistol work very quickly there, just did not get himself hidden in time. Scouts and Medic both walking up the crates there, but no, the Soldier says this is my crate and it is nobody else's. And looks like TCM having to drop back. They're just not able to deal the damage that they really wanted to. So Epsilon is, not only are they going to cap it, but they're going to cap it with just a scout, and they're going to push everybody else into yard and press the advantage they have right now in terms of players. I mean, why the heck not push onto this point here when you can? So that's exactly what they are doing. Coins and Skinny just now spawning here. The Ubers are coming in for both teams, and oh, look at what they did with that. They knew they weren't going to get any damage from the Ubers, so they just pushed two players and had them rocket and sticky jump up into the high ground. So now TCM is surrounded up here and trying to defend second while you were surrounded. Not able to do it. Epsilon with some amazing play here. They've still got a Medic-Soldier combo pressuring their Medic. Everybody on TCM is down right now, so that's going to mean that oh my gosh, exciting game. I've been casting like all day. My voice is dying. But yeah, TCM finally gets a bunch of players spawning, so I don't think Epsilon's going to push on to last quite yet, but just like amazing dominant play and dominant thinking from Epsilon so far. I am loving watching these guys because it's not just like watching, you know, DM all the time, deathmatch, but it's also like watching these guys. They've got this like superior tactics and superior strategy that it's almost like watching a StarCraft game right now. These guys are just like, okay, no, we're going to push him with the Uber, but instead of trying to get kills with the Uber, we're just going to try and get like a really awesome position to get kills later. Amazing stuff. So lots of kills coming down right now. Nox is actually playing the heavy. And we have seen occasionally a heavy push onto the last point. You get a lot of HP there. And just watching Shocky get some awesome kills, going huge here. Can Shocky get the last scout kill, or is it going to be this other scout standing there with the pistol? No, Quad pistols down Skinny, and actually Shocky was pulling out the bat there. So they were just, Skinny was trying to buy time, but it was not going to happen. So that goes 3-0 so far for Epsilon against TCM. Now bear in mind that in European leagues they played to 30 minutes, but there also is a win difference of 5. So if at any point one team is 5 wins ahead of the other team, then the game is called for that team. So we may actually see Epsilon go 5-0 at this rate. This has just been amazing. But TCM could bring it back very easily. They've got some very aggressive positioning here at the midpoint. The Demo Man went up there, did take a lot of damage, but so far he's getting healed up by his Medic properly, so not going to die quite yet. Nox is the first man down. And now we're seeing that both soldiers right now are down for Epsilon. They've only got their scouts and Medic remaining, and they are backing out through their garage. Wise decision here to run away from the mid-fight because they have lost it. Now, on the other hand, they did take out Anti. So, the Medic for Red Team has died. They won the mid-fight, but they lost their Medic. They're not going to have the Uber push. What they really want to do right now... oh my gosh, sorry guys. What they really want to do with the player advantage that they have, of course they have to cap it, and that's going to mean that even though Epsilon has the Uber advantage, they're not going to be like pushing on to last with an Uber or anything like that. But But they really want to make Epsilon pop their Uber here quickly. Now, actually, Epsilon's playing very, very far back, and for the moment, they are giving TCM a little bit of time to build their Uber up. Where is the medic right now? He's hanging out in the garage, so very, very far back here. He's playing conservatively, and if they give up a little bit of ground to the enemies, that's okay. They just want to make sure they keep their medic alive to build that Uber up. They're at 70% now, so Epsilon gave up really quite a big advantage. They could have pushed out, I think, a lot sooner. But right now, oh no, they've got perfect head timing right now. Just they had that timing down in their heads, and they said, no, this is exactly when we need to Uber in, when they have like 80% and can't stop us. Too bad, though, Anti holding onto that Uber with like 20 health and a scout jumping in his face. Amazing play there by Anti to just say, no, we got this, guys, we got this. We'll just back out, let them pop their Uber, let it fade out, and then we'll come in with a counter pop. They won't even have time to cap. So there you go. TCM just showing us some really, really good passive playstyle when they don't have the Uber advantage. And of course they still don't, because they haven't managed to knock out Epsilon's medic. But this time, Epsilon is having to walk back and defend last. And of course, like I always say, even if you have an Uber advantage when you're defending last, that doesn't always matter. Oh, wow, look at this, though. TCM actually saying, okay, they have the Uber advantage, so we need to push in right now and get a capture. So far, it looks like it may work. The Heavy's going to go down to the combined work of these two scouts here, and with everybody else down on Team Epsilon, that is going to be a capture for TCM. TCM did not wait for their Uber. They just said, no, before they have the Uber, we need to just push right now, and that is what they did. So here we go, Bite getting his pre-spawn positioning there, and we're going to watch the Bite Me rollout. But yeah, guys, TCM could make a huge comeback here. This is going to be some amazing play so far. Epsilon showing some really awesome and really, really creative strategies here, but TCM showing that they, too, know the tactics of TF2. They know the ins and outs, and they're saying, no, we know exactly how the timing of those Ubers works out, so exactly when to push back and fall. It's like F2, though, for Epsilon. The first man to die goes down to a rocket from Pena. We're very well placed, and so that means that Epsilon, even if they win this mid-fight here, no, both medics down. So we're watching TCM here, has the player advantage for the moment. Nox on 1 health. Where is Nox right now? Is he going to go? Oh, he does go down to a rocket from Flisco. So Flisco here and Skinny here pushing back Extremer, and Extremer needing to fall back here. He's actually just a little bit overextended, taking a lot of damage here, but of course he is like the fastest class in the game. A lot of people like to say that the Scout is the fastest in the game, but then you're like, yeah, but the Demo Man can sticky jump, and they're like, oh, right. So yeah, fastest class in the game. They're using those stickies to get away, and so we're going to see Epsilon just fine. They've got their players up, and they've got a 20% Uber advantage. So after that brutal mid-fight, both of these teams having roughly even Ubers. Epsilon, I think, may realize that they've got this 20% advantage, so they might press it just as soon as they get it. But the problem is they're going to have to push through a bunch of sticky traps. Of course, sticky traps on both sides of this door, basically. That is just a very, very common thing to see on Granary. Yeah, it looks like Epsilon really doesn't want to try and push it right now. They don't want to push in through sticky traps, through these tiny choke points here, because it's just not a good thing to do. So they are stacked up right now in the yard. I don't even remember if I went over the rosters for these guys. I think I did. But nonetheless, TCM and Epsilon, both European teams. I'm not sure what countries these guys are from, actually. That would be an interesting thing for my stream to tell me. But nonetheless, we are watching an amazing game right now, with both teams just showing the highest level, not just of a player's individual skill, but of tactics as well. TCM tried to go around the flanks here, but Epsilon just shut them down with just a little bit, I think, of superior mobility. Looks like Epsilon said, no, you know what, if you're going to come around our flanks, we're just going to surround you, and that's exactly what they did. But Pena going for the medic kill. Epsilon's F2 went down to 7 health. So close to death there. So Pena, with a very good decision, it just didn't quite work out there, but could have given their team a significant Uber advantage if it had worked out. And really, like, you'd love to see those like ambushes that just work really, really well. The individual player there having to say, okay, I'm in a great position here to get an ambush at this spot, and that's not something that's always practiced all that much. It's just that you have to know those little ambush spots, and when you're in a situation where your team is falling back and you have to retreat, you leave one person to ambush, and it's really just up to the player's discretion most of the time. So we're going to watch these players kind of just kind of spam back and forth at each other for a little bit. Epsilon has the Uber advantage. I'm kind of thinking, you know, maybe they should push out here right now. That's exactly what they're doing, but they have given TCM, I think, just a little bit too much time here. So TCM is going to have the Uber in time. nonetheless, they are dropping back here, and Epsilon's going to probably try to Uber into second point. TCM not quite in the position they want to be to defend. Skinny goes down right away, but so do Nox and Gear. So both soldiers died there for Epsilon. I think they were a little bit out of position there, and just got caught up by TCM. I didn't catch that on camera, but we were watching the Ubers, and Epsilon is just losing everyone right now. Oh no! Only Shocky left up. Shocky even, and he's going to grab that health kit and be okay. But the problem is, TCM has 3 up right now. It's a medic, demo, and soldier. So they're going to push right out, and look at how paranoid Anti is being. That's one thing you want to see as a medic, is just constantly watching your back and making sure you know not only where the enemies are, but where the sticky traps are. Like, and you know, you can always be expecting a spy. Like, even in a 6v6 game, just always expect a spy, because that way they will never catch you off guard. But gets caught off guard by a scout. His demo man jumped away from him just for a second, left him undefended. So very, very good scout work there by I want to say by TCM there, but I'm dumb. It's actually by Epsilon. Good scout work there. I think that may have been quad on the scout just to knock out TCM's medic. So he's back up, but Epsilon has a 50% Uber advantage. Sounds like there's some pressure going down right now on Epsilon. Yeah, he's there we go. Finally the scout. Pena and Coins were both going after Epsilon's medic here, F2, and so he is finally prepared to push with his team, because the enemy is no longer trying to get flanks and get surprise attacks on the medic. But look at all the stickies on the point there. TCM making sure that they delay this as long as possible, because of course the more stickies you lay on the ground, I mean, the less the enemy wants to walk over them. There we go. Uber finally pops out here. They're looking for the medic, and they probably are going to get this medic kill. Very good jumps out there. This medic was just a little bit out of position. Did not want to be caught there by the Ubered rocket jumping soldiers. So great mobility by the soldiers of Epsilon to jump out there, knock out the medic. That gives them a really big advantage here, except that they may not have it because F2 has gone down, just overextending his team there by a little bit. So as the day has worn on for these teams, I think this is all played on one day anyway. I could be totally wrong, but it looks like they may just be making just occasional mistakes. Nonetheless, Epsilon manages to win that, bring it up to 4-1 here in Epsilon versus TCM in the upper finals of the i43 LAN. So whoever wins this goes on. They just have to play one more game, and they have the potential to win £2,500. Looking so far, because there's only about 8 minutes left for TCM to capture 3 all caps in a row. That's almost impossible for them to do. So just to tie it up, even they have to get 3 just to tie it and bring it to a golden cap. So looking like Epsilon is going to be going on to the grand finals. Bite Me goes down right away. Some really well placed scattergun shots there, but looks like Epsilon is losing a lot of players as well. Coins and Skinny are both up right now, and we're going to have to see whether they decide to back off here or take on the Soldier Scout combo. Shocky is having to hang back. He is very, very heavily damaged, but so are everybody's just taking way too much damage right now. Shocky trying to protect his soldier there, but it looks like his soldier may go down. Gear does go down, so the mid-fight has basically gone to Epsilon. The medic's Ubers have been reset. Shocky here hanging around this med kit. He just wants to grab that kit once more and put himself up to about 50 or 60 health. So there he goes, going to grab that, and he's still in an ambush position. And, oh, does get the ambush. He gets the initial shot there on Coins, but Coins ends up taking him out anyway. So down to about 20 health there as he takes him out. Wow, very, very strong reflexes there on Coins to knock out that ambushing scout. Amazingly done. So we do have, once again, TCM in the offensive position, pushing in, and they're not going to push quite yet through this Z, is what it's called, this little Z door, but it's because, of course, if you push in there, you are very, very likely to die. It's very narrow, so you can get a lot of sticky spam and a lot of rocket spam coming in there real fast, and yeah, it looks like Extremer just setting up the sticky traps right there. Oh, wow. Look, what? You can put stickies there? So it sounds like TCM has actually popped a Kritzkrieg, and I've been paying so little attention. But yeah, the Kritzkrieg fading away here now didn't deal any damage, and they didn't even have to pop the Uber right away. Yeah, so there we go. Very, very aggressive Uber there to push out onto TCM. And TCM taking a lot of damage. Anti is down, so that damage cannot get healed up very quickly. But look at that, Quad and Shocky both going down as well. And now Bite Me is saying, oh, looks like we actually could potentially hold this. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Trying to jump over a medic soldier combo, but at this level of play, I mean, I'm not even sure. I think maybe Bite Me was trying to just get around behind, start capping, and maybe drop some stickies behind him so that when they tried to drop in, they would not be able to. But that was just, when we say overextending, I mean, that was overextending for sure. Epsilon now able to easily push on to mid. They are not facing any demo man, no sticky traps. And here's the thing, since they don't have any sticky traps, I think Epsilon's going to be able to push out and take yard as well. And that's one of the hardest areas to push out onto. Of course, the other is the last point. But yeah, they are able to take yard, no problem. So Epsilon out here in yard right now, trying to start dealing some damage to TCM, who is sitting back here on their second point, playing fairly conservative right now. They do have the Uber, so they can defend a little bit more proactively now and play a little bit more forward in their positioning. Uber comes in upstairs, though, for Epsilon. They have lost one scout right now, but there they go. They have Ubered, and Anti dropped the Uber. Was not ready for that at all. Tried to hold on to it just for a little bit too long. Ended up dying, so that's, I think, going to be the capture for Epsilon. We watched Gear actually get that kill on Pena, and that was the last person alive for TCM. So 5-1 so far, and with only 4 minutes left, 5 minutes, it's going to be extremely difficult for TCM to come back and capture. So, once again, we are going to be watching TCM try and get out there and try to stop Epsilon from winning this game, but I think at this rate Epsilon has it locked, and they're going to go on to the grand finals, and I've loved watching Epsilon's play so far in this game. They've just done stuff that I completely do not expect to see out of 6v6 teams. There's just, especially in North America that I've seen, there's just like one standard way to play, and on most of these maps there's like 1 or 2 standard attack corridors, and Epsilon is just turning that on its head and saying, no, like the attack corridors for us are completely the opposite. Now F2 is still up for Epsilon, but the only damage class they have left on the field is Shocky, and he's about to die. Can he stay alive for long enough? Just barely grabbing that health kit and keeping himself up. Throwing down a little bit of damage on Pena, but it looks like once again the mid-fight has gone to TCM. The problem is they couldn't kill Epsilon, so they're going to have about a 70% Uber advantage for Epsilon. I'm sorry, they couldn't kill F2, is what I meant to say. So Epsilon has that 70% Uber advantage, and TCM here, even though they're capping the midpoint, it's not actually going to benefit them all that much because all of their players are already up, they're already spawned, so they're probably already on the way. They don't really get the benefit of that that forward spawn as much. So now we've got, oh wow, look at those pink antlers, that is so cute. But TCM pushing out here, trying to take the yard. Problem is, Bite Me has now died, tried to overextend once again, and this time the Uber has come in. Oh, they Ubered the soldier, and he tried to jump and take out the medic. Problem was, the Uber faded away from him because F2 abandoned the Uber. So, and he may have intended to do that, but now his soldier has died, and Anti here is keeping... Oh, what? Oh, no! Wait, what has even happened here? It looks like everybody's just kind of standing still. I have no idea. The medic just got caught in that corner there, and his soldier died, and he was just like, what? Come on. I mean, if I were in that situation, and I main medic, so if I had my soldier pushing in against a scout, I was just like, come on, yeah, it's a scout medic, let's take him out, and then my soldier died, I wouldn't know what to do. So maybe he didn't either, or maybe he was just like frustrated. I would be frustrated, I think, a little bit in that situation. So, nonetheless, the TCM's medic is down, and so Epsilon, once again, has the ability to push with an Uber advantage. I mean, he's not down anymore, but he was down, and so he's got about a 20% Uber advantage for F2 here against Anti. So Coins has gone down right now. Anti's taking a little bit of damage, so he has to fall back, and lots of people are lit up on TCM right now. Lit up, of course, means they are dangerously close to death. And as a medic, I mean, that's one of the things you got to tell your team. Hey, you're all lit up right now. Stop taking damage. Get back. Fall back. And if they don't, of course, they're going to die. That, of course, means you have less protection as a medic, and there you go. Looks like the medic is down once again for TCM. Flisco trying to escape there, but he only had 1 health before that shotgun shell hit him anyway. So this is going to be the game, guys. Win difference of 5. That means that Epsilon is going to probably win this 6-1 unless TCM can just pull something out of their butts here. And, I mean... we're going to basically have to watch some hacking to win at this point. So it looks like Epsilon has the game in the bag. GG WP for both teams, though. I loved watching both of them have some very creative and awesome playstyles. So, of course, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and check out Vanilla TV. I hope to cast the finals game, but it's not going to happen tonight because the SCV demo does not seem to exist. So anyway, guys, this has been Salamancer signing out and hoping to cast the finals game tomorrow.